I think we are live. Yeah, I might be early. What's up? I love this guitar so much ever since I changed the turny thingy. The loud turny thingy that makes it loud and soft. What's up, Joel? Rev, Ron, Majestic BB&J, Ben Coombs, the Coomster, Browns fan, Kevin, Strat CPO. We got Don, we got Ken, we got Trolls, we got Michael, we got Aceless Paul, Fretless Ed, Tony House, Guy Prop, Mr. 845, Majestic PB&J Cat, world's greatest name. Yeti Motzi, Tone Lives, what's up, Friedrich, and John, and Kushman, and Tim, and Patrick, and Mike, and Slacker, Dwight, and Tactical in Shape, and Skip. Don't forget Dwight. What's up, Cowtown Customs? What's up, Quentin? What's up, David in Michigan? What's up, Ian, Ryan, Kevin, Timothy? Thoughts on the big Celtics game? Well, they kind of have to win this one, right? Felt like they should have closed it out, but it looks like they just couldn't do it. I would call this one a must-win. What's up, Matt? What is it? There it is. What's up, Andrew? Matt? What's up, Lee? Jay Shaft? Yeah, I think Vol's gonna, after NAMM, they're sort of holding on to their display models that they usually send around to us guys because they get the NAMM show. So they got to display them at NAMM. But when then that's over, I think they're going to send a couple of guitars this way to check out. They have a couple of new models. I think this one's like a SIG model. And the other one is maybe an Oz or a Vasti, I forget now. No, you rock, Vince. What's up, Gary Davlin? What's up, buddy? Gary, it's an addiction. I just placed another order with Hoofschmidt. I know you feel my pain when there's so many picks and so little time and so little money. But, yeah, I got one of those, he had a couple of one-of-a-kind sets, and not a big order this time, but yeah, another order should be here in a couple of weeks. Hey, what's up, speaker? I do like this Vola. Oh, did you, Gary? I got one of the one-of-a-kind pairs, too. It sucks you right in. One of a kind, throwing money at the screen. What? So did I. Oh, it's an addiction. Oh, I'm in deep, bro. Did you see the pic display? Did you guys see the pic display? I'll have to show you the pic display later. But we're just getting started here. And as I like to do, those who know me, who know my show, I like to get the title topic just out of the way for people who zoom in later on and they wanna see this, and they don't want to see me jabbing for 30 minutes until I get to the topic. So let's just get to the topic. We'll get that out of the way, and then we can dance the night away. Right. So let's just talk about this. So as you know, Gibson and Dean were in a lawsuit. And what I have here, what I have to show you is the jury verdict. The verdict from the jury, from the actual verdict form. No interpretation here. I don't want to be caught trying to interpret some legal document and be caught up in all that. Oh no. No. We're going straight to the document because, you know, that's the thing to do. So this is it. This is what it looks like. This is the document. And what you're going to see is you're going to see these handwritten entries. This is literally from the jury. Right. And what this is the verdict form is a series of questions, and then they answer this. Now, there's a lot. This isn't going to answer everything, but it gives us a good indication of like what the verdict of this case is, because these are the findings of fact, right? And then later on, the judge might issue an order based on these rulings, and they can fight that out. Trust me, they will. And there's probably going to be an appeal from this. So, but this is what was found a couple days ago, right? So this is from Scribd. I think I put a link to the document in the description if you want to see it. So they ask a bunch of questions, and let's just take the questions just one by one, and we'll see what their answers are, and I'll try to explain it to you as we go through. So the first question is, now, who's Armadillo? That's Dean. Who's Concordia? That's also Dean, right? There's like two companies that have primary ownership in the Dean brand. All right, it's Armadillo Distribution Enterprises and Concordia Investments. All right, you see, very boring names. This is actually not that uncommon to have some like, right? That's the real owner of the brand and the brand name. So, but for every time I say like Armadillo, unless you see the word Gibson, it's friggin' Dean. All right, just insert the word Dean there. So here's the first question. Do you find by a preponderance of the evidence that Armadillo, aka Dean, infringed an alleged Gibson trademark and engaged in unfair competition in a manner that creates, when viewed in its entirety, a likelihood of confusion? That's the standard. Among ordinary consumers, again, that's the standard. To the source, affiliation, or sponsorship. This is taken right out of the text of the law, right? What does it mean to infringe? Well, it would be the likelihood of confusion among ordinary consumers to the source, affiliation, or sponsorship, right? And so that's how they write this. That's how they write this question. And to the Flying V body shape, yes. To the Explorer body shape, yes. To the EA's body shape, yes. To the SG body shape, no. I'm just kidding. Yes. To the Dovewing headstock, yes. To the Hummingbird, yes. All right, so that's the first. So, boom. All right, that's all yes. To the Flying V, no. Now, this might have been, that's why you won't see much more about this after that, because once they say no on this, right, that whenever you see blanks later on in this verdict, it's because of the way they answered in these prior answers, okay? So so if you answered yes, go to number 2, but if you answered no, then you can go right to section 8. So this one is going straight to section 8. The rest of these are going to section 2. You follow? You find by a preponderance of the evidence that Armadillo, again, that's Dean, sold or marketed a counterfeit, which is kind of odd, a counterfeit, of any alleged Gibson trademark. Answer yes or no. And they found yes, 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 no, yes. And of course, they don't even get to this because they didn't answer in the prior. You see what I'm saying? I found that a little odd because I would think it would need to be more of a complete copy. In other words, not just a shape copy. It would also have to be the actual name of Gibson to be a true counterfeit, right? But again, the jury's allowed to make whatever conclusion they want to. And that's how they concluded. So, yes as to counterfeiting. So, you following so far? Yes as to infringing. Yes as to counterfeiting. All right, let's move on. Do you find, by a preponderance of the evidence, that Armadillo, a.k.a. Dean, willfully infringed, what think about that, willfully infringed an alleged Gibson trademark? Yes. 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 Now, if this is, right, if you're through the first quarter of this game, you're saying to yourself, Dean, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. But, you know, there's 4 quarters, as I found out in the other night's Celtics game. And so, let's just go. So far, it's looking great for Gibson. Not so good for Dean. Latches. What is latches? Let me explain what latches is. It's an undue delay. In other words, you wait too long before you file your case, before you make a claim. You sit back for a period of time, and the period is determined on a case-by-case basis. Now, one good argument for latches is if you have a statute of limitations, but there's no statute of limitations here, right? It's common law. Hold on. You see what I'm saying? So this is just like, I don't know how long it is, but I know it when I see it. And so I'm sure Dean was arguing that 40 years is too long. So for latches, this is Armadillo punching back. You don't want to punch back. You don't want to punch back from an armadillo, let me tell you. They're scrappy. Do you find by a preponderance of the evidence that Gibson delayed in asserting its trademark rights against Armadillo? Yes. Yes. Right? So this is sort of like knocking out those prior. It's like, yeah, we agree that they infringed. Yeah, we agree they counterfeited, but you waited too long. You waited too long. And yes to the dove-wing headstock and no on these other things. So if you answered yes, you go on to section 3. If you answered no for these shapes, you go on to I think section 3. All right. So again, the poor bastard who's got to sit in that jury room and figure this shit out. But here we go. Do you find, by a preponderance of the evidence, that Gibson's delay was inexcusable and caused undue prejudice to Armadillo? And for those 3 ones up here where they said yes, yes, and yes as to Gibson delayed it, they also said yes, yes, and yes as to it was inexcusable and caused an undue prejudice. Again, so now you don't know where the hell this is going, right? This is the jury saying, yeah, you infringed, yeah, you counterfeited, but you waited too long, right? So now this is a big punchback from the other side. I mean, this thing is reading like a friggin' soap opera. So I'm like, okay, where is this going? Well, we get to the next question. Has Gibson proven, by a preponderance of the evidence, that Armadillo, a.k.a. Dean, at any point had unclean hands in connection with its use of the alleged Gibson trademark? And this is again, I don't want to get into all the legal details, but sometimes this is really not when a small guy copies a big guy. This is really when a big guy copies a small guy, and they do it just to put the small guy out of business, right? right? You're just forcing them out. So there is an unclean hands to a, right, with use, did they have unclean hands with this, with its use of the alleged Gibson trademark? And they say no, no, and no. So, and again, this is the clarity of American law. No, they don't have unclean hands, which means, because we're using a double negative here, they do have clean hands. Again, the answer to number 6 is in Armadillo / Dean's favor. So far, you've got a couple of real strong punches by Gibson in this verdict, and a couple of real strong punches back by Dean. Where is this going? Well, let's see. Right? No, no, and no. As to unclean hands, they're saying no, Dean didn't have unclean hands. They had very clean hands. Then they go to contributory infringement, Concordia, and basically they say, yeah, look, for anything they answered in number 1 was Concordia. So remember when I said number 1, if you answered yes, you could, if you had no, you jumped to section 8, right? This is contributory infringement with the other plaintiff at the start of this, right? So, right, they've all been saying Armadillo, but they're basically saying, is Concordia, and they just basically say yes, 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 except for the flying V. Again, they're consistent with their response to the first one, and that's consistently no. Flying V body shape, yes. I guess the words flying V, no. Dig? All right. It's like you need a friggin' law degree. So again, these are just directions on how to answer, but let's see what the answers are. If you answered yes for any of the trademarks questions in number 1, and if you answered for any of the trademarks in question 7, please answer the question below. Do you find by a preponderance of the evidence that Gibson delayed in asserting its trademark against Concordia? Right? So again, just the other named plaintiff in this. And again, just like they did, they're consistent in their answers. Yes, yes, and yes for these. No, no, and no for these. Okay? And then if you answered yes, did you find that the preponderance of the delay was inexcusable and caused undue prejudice? This is just a repeat of what was for Armadillo, but it's now for Concordia. Right? This is just a little administrative house cleaning here. Yes, yes, and yes. And then the unclean hands question, again, is now posed in Concordia. And again, they find no, no, no. They're very consistent. Damages. Now, this is huge because all your case relies on damages. So, if they answered yes to question 1, which was that there was an infringement, and yes for these other ones, you have to say, you have to answer these questions. Has Gibson proven, by a preponderance of the evidence, that Gibson suffered actual damages as a result of Armadillo's infringement? No. Now, that could be, again, by a preponderance of the evidence. So how do you prove that you've had actual damages? Well, you get some expert up there and you say, you see, we were selling 100 Vs a month. Then all of a sudden we were selling 90 Vs. Then we were selling 70 Vs. And we hurt, right? It hurt. But unless you have that data, right? This is, again, it's a battle of evidence. You have to have some evidence to show you were actually hit. If you keep climbing in value, then you say, well, we might have been, right? In other words, year after year, you're selling more and more flying Vs, and it's hard to say you were hurt. You would say, well, we think we might have sold more, but again, that's all speculative. So you've got to come up with damages. Actual damages? No. All right? So, again, there wasn't apparently enough evidence for the jury to do it, even though they said yes to the infringement. What sum of money, if now paid in cash, would reasonably compensate Gibson for profits earned by, and Armadillo again would be Dean, for its infringement, if any? They wrote in 4,000, then they scratched it out and wrote in 0. And then that's the jury foreman signing off on it with initials to basically because you only get one shot to write these. You're not going to get a second one. So they got to cross that out and put that in. That's a mistake, and we'll get to this. All right? So what do they get for damages? 0. Again, because they found that they had no damages. At least they weren't proven. Again, this is all about evidentiary proof. All right, so they get the goose egg. Let's go on to statutory damages. If you answered for a yes in trademark 2 and yes for numbers 4 and 5, if you answered no, please go on, but answer this. What sum of money, if paid now in cash, do you find, again, with today's dollars, paid now in cash, do you find Gibson has proven by preponderance of the evidence in counterfeiting statutory damages, if any, per counterfeit, trademark, per type of goods sold, offered for sale, or distributed, answer in dollars and cents? And they wrote in, and I don't want to give away the answer, but $4,000. You can see that coming a mile away. Okay, how do they get to $4,000? Well, you look up the statute for counterfeiting. And in the United States, the counterfeiting statute has a section for statutory damages that grants the finder of fact a range. The range is $1,000 to $100,000, right? In a sum no less than $1,000, but not exceeding $100,000, right? For each one. Now, if you go back to section 1, they said yes, right, to 4 of the items. Remember that? And then the other ones, they said no. So if you work that out, right, for the counterfeiting, they said yes to 4 and they said no to the rest. So if you take the statutory minimum, which is $1,000, and you apply it to each instance, as they say here, that would equal $4,000. Dig? You with me so far? So then they said you get exemplary damages. A little bone-eye. Do you find clear and convincing evidence, because that's the standard, not by a preponderance of the evidence, but clear and convincing evidence, which is a much higher standard, that the harm to Gibson was resulted from malice? You know, and they say, answer yes or no. Jury says no, because they didn't. You know what? They didn't have to answer these because they had said no to this earlier one. So they don't answer this one, they don't answer this one, and they don't answer this one. This next question, Gibson had to be shitting themselves because it was, it was up for grabs, and of course they could appeal. But this is the question that probably had those lawyers up at night. Do you find now? Remember already they found latches. Remember already they found 0 harm. Okay, they found that they said yeah they infringed, but you waited too long. Okay. So I could see this jury. Look, listen to this next count is for cancellation. Do you find, by a preponderance of the evidence, that any of the Gibson trademark registrations should be canceled because they are generic? Oh my God. No. 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 That is you break out the champagne after seeing that, because those marks are protected now. You see what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, as to Dean, and again, latches are on a case-by-case basis, right? Case by case. So as to Dean, right? It was no as to actual damages and no because of latches, right? Like this liability. But it wasn't because the trademarks are generic and they should be canceled, right? If that jury came back and answered yes on these, which I could see them doing, that would have been a shit show. That would have been some very ugly meetings with their lawyers. But luckily for them, the jury said, no, we're not going to cancel it. But as to Dean, you waited too long and you had no damages. You see where I'm going? You see what's happening so far? We're going to give them 4,000 like the minimum. So it's really sort of, right? It's a very sort of even-handed. And then you have to remember that Dean sued back. Dean had a counterclaim for tortious interference. They were like, hey, stop suing us because you're interfering with our ability to sell. Do you fight? So this is the counterclaim. Do you find by a preponderance of the evidence that Gibson tortiously interfered with Armadillo's business relations, prospective business relations? And they said no. All right, so that's a big win for Gibson, right? So it's a no on the counterclaim. And then they don't have to get to this answer because they answered no there. And then they don't have to answer this because it was a no. They don't have to answer this because it was a no. None of these because it's a no. And that's it. It's all over. So I would say that it was kind of a draw up until you get to cancellation. Then it's a huge friggin' win for Gibson. You dig? You dig my reading on that? Because if that ever got canceled in this country because of their being generic, it would have just opened the floodgates. And quite frankly, none of their designs, especially the older ones, would be up for grabs because people would say, well, if you found that these were generic, then what about the rest of them, right? So, right. So let's just sum it up. Okay, let's just sum it up. Infringement, yeah. Trademark, counterfeit, yes, as to 4. Willfully infringed, yes, as to these 5. Latches, they said yes. The delay was inexcusable, all that. Unclean hands, they didn't have. Concordia is in the same boat. Latches, Concordia. And but the big one is no to the damages on Gibson. 0 money on the damages, right, for compensation. 4,000 in statutory damages. And the mark is not canceled, which is friggin' huge. That is huge. And then no tortious interference. And there you go. I suspect there's probably appellate issues on both sides, right? Can Gibson get their attorney's fees? Maybe, but that's always been a pretty high bar. The language for that is for exceptional cases, right? You have to be exceptional. That looks pretty ordinary, right? But recently the bar for attorney's fees has been lowered from clear and convincing down to a preponderance of the evidence, which is a much lower standard. So, could Gibson get their attorney's fees? Maybe. But then, because there's been so many wins on the other side, I could see a court saying, no, I'm not doing that, right? They had some valid arguments. They had no valid arguments, then maybe. But they had some valid arguments. We agreed with the defendant on a number of issues, right? So they probably won't get it. So we'll see. Probably go to some sort of an appeal. But right now they're sitting at $4,000 in sweet dineros. And they get to keep their marks. Hey, hold on 1 second. I left something on over there. Hold on. I got to go turn this off. It's freaking bothering me. Hold on. You'll never find truth or justice in the court of law. Actually, I see it all the time. I see courts cut through the bullshit all the time. Everybody goes in there going, listen, I want to tell you how it is. And they're like, no, you're not. This is a no bullshit zone. Your evidence is tossed out. Your so-called evidence. You see, a friend heard from a friend. They're like, no. That's the great thing about court. They don't put up with nonsense. They really don't. And I've seen some takedowns. I remember a judge just staring at the guy going like, can I see you at sidebar? That's not the last thing you want to hear before you walk up there. Ugh. Didn't Gibson lose their suits in Europe? Well, I think in Europe they found that the latches did cancel it. Right? They found it to be public domain because it had been around for so long. That's the difference between the two systems, right? In the EU, they say, yeah, no, you sat on it too long. Now it becomes public domain. We're here like, well, you can't sue for it because you sat on it for so long, but it's still yours. Do I work in the law sector? I used to, for a while. Does Dean have to put trademark by Gibson on the guitars? Well, see, I don't know. Again, those are findings. Those are some ruling. Those are mainly findings of fact by a jury. Juries don't rule on the law all too much. They find facts based on a preponderance of the evidence. That's why they all said by preponderance of the evidence or clear and convincing evidence, right? They make findings of fact. So the judge will probably put out an order at some point, but they may not. The judge may not do it until they find out whether or not there's going to be an appeal. Right? So if there's going to be an appeal, it's like, why waste the time putting together an order, basically declaring the outcome of this trial until there's been an appeal. So besides, an appeal would put an automatic stay on any action, but you've got to get your appeal in order. And, if you lose an appeal, then attorney's fees are more free-flowing because they want to discourage appellate action for the purposes of just prolonging the litigation. Oh, Octopus put its ears, dude. Octopus Ears writes, my gas is incurable. We know. I bought a brand new guitar lesson 2 weeks ago, and I'm already dying for another. Yeah, how does it, and I hate to say it, is it the thrill of the chase? Right? Then you finally get it, and you just throw it on the pile. Right? Throw it on the pile of crap you've bought over the years. You're like, all right, well, I already got that. Now what? Now what am I researching? Right? But what it really is you just get bit with the gas bug. You really do. God, dude. And you go through, it's like, all of a sudden I'm looking at Jackson's nonstop. All of a sudden I'm looking at, what Kramer's nonstop, right? What Kramer am I buying, right? Then you watch some video of a dude playing a Strat. Maybe I need another Strat. It never ends. God. Right? It's the thrill of the chase. Doesn't it kind of feel that way, right? So, oh yeah, there's a new Vola Oz. Yeah, this one I did a mod to it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I modded it. I put this in super fast non-frictiony. Whack 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 whack. And that's a 250K. I put in a 500K and it was too bright. I needed the 250 and still plenty bright. If you read Seymour Duncan's website and that you do a mix with single coils and humbuckers, they recommend a 250K pot for the volume and a 500 for the tone, which is exactly what I have. Do not let what you do not have prevent you from using what you do have. No. No. Everything's on hold until I get that Strat. No. The whole world is stopping. Wait a second. But my wife, that looks exactly like the guitar you already have. This one's blue and has a mint green pickguard. Hello? What are you gassing over a Strat with Strat again? All of them. I still only play one at a time. True. I do play several at the same time, but not by accident. So, any of you guys ever, now for something completely different, you guys ever reglaze windows? Had a big glazing project this week. I was up on scaffolding, reglazing a window that can't be removed. You know, some windows you can't take it out. It's what we would call in situ. That for a legal term. And so I had to get the scaffolding out, standing up there with a pencil torch, putty knife, taking out. A lot of it had already fallen out, but the rest is kind of tough. You got to take it out. Glazing is a pain in the ass, yeah. And then you're up there, you punching putty in, and you're getting all your little corners in there. And, nice drain corners. Oh my God. Oh, it can make you mental. You guitar hunting right now. Yeah, I the hunt never ends, but I only buy it when it's a really good deal. At least that's what I tell myself. No, you had to buy that one. It was a really good deal. Now, these mere hoi polloi, citizenry, they don't understand. They don't understand the bargain you just got. They never will. So it's useless to even try to explain. These lay persons. What will they ever know? Nothing. So you just say, "Oh, you're adorable." No, no. This is Les Paul's standard traditional. No, it's a very different guitar. What's up, Cal? Exactly. It's not how much you've spent, it's how much you saved doing it. You'll never get it cheaper than today. Never forget that. That's how you close. You say, listen, I don't want to scare you, but prices have been going up. You'll never get it cheaper than today. My teenage years, you got quite good at glazing. Yeah. When you did, your brother would lock you out of the house. Sure. Yeah, I've broke a few windows getting home saying, I forgot my key. Porch window, breaking another porch window. What's up, Bobby? Everyone's doing 15% off this weekend. Yeah, Memorial Day weekend is usually a shopping weekend. You know, you got your President's Day weekend, you got your Memorial Day weekend, you got your 4th of July weekend, you know, so your sale. You got your Labor Day weekend, you know. A little yes. I forget it now. Wow. I don't think Guitar Center is a Vola dealer. I'm pretty sure they're not. I don't think so. I don't know a lot of it's like I gotta get the coffee and I'm 20 minutes away from curfew. What I miss, who won? I'd say it was kind of a draw, but I think Gibson had a huge win in that their marks were upheld. That would have been That would have been like, you know, huge and newsworthy if those marks actually had been declared generic. Oh my God, that would have been huge news. But they weren't. It's not patent law. The patents would have long expired. The only way you can get it so that it lasts indefinitely is through a trademark. Even copyrights expire eventually. Trademarks never do. What is it? I forget it now. Eventually, they'll expire for Disney, but they were almost going to expire for Disney copyrights, but they probably trademarked it. They probably trademarked all that stuff, so they never expire, right? But the copyright for the mouse, you know, for Mickey Mouse. You know, remember Mickey Mouse started in like 1930, was it 35, 31, something like that. So, yeah, it's pretty old. And Steamboat Willie, Steamboat Itchy, and they were going to expire, and man, there was a lot of friggin' lobbying going on there, aka a lot of money, a lot of campaign money spent to make damn sure that those weren't going to expire and go public domain. And they accomplished it, right? And then, lucky for Disney, Sonny Bono killed himself going down a ski slope by accident, right? He crashed into a tree, right? Isn't that Sonny Bono died? He died of a skiing accident, right? Crashed into a tree at a high rate of speed, and it killed him. And so there's a lot of sympathy for his widow, and she was like, the one thing that he always wanted is to make sure that we were set for life with his copyrights. And like using that, they passed the Sonny Bono law, which like expanded the rights to like the life of the owner. I think because it used to be like 40 years, and then it was like the life of the owner plus like 10 years and like plus 30 years. That was when Disney was going to expire. And now it's like the life of the owner plus, I think it's like 130 years. It's like some ridiculous amount of time. Like, so none of my heirs will ever starve because, you know, we got to make sure that they collect, you know, the royalties from the stuff. So, yeah, it's about 130 years from the life of the creator. Exactly. So Disney had Sonny Bono killed, maybe. Yeah, but there was a lot of sympathy at that time, you know, because you had a member of Congress. Sonny Bono was a member of Congress, and all of a sudden he was gone from a skiing accident, and his wife basically went in there. They passed the Sonny Bono Act, which was, you know, an expansion of copyright laws because that's how he made a living. And she's like, "Don't let my family starve." I'm not starving. I got you, babe. I got you, royalties. What's up, Tim? Was he really for extending it before he died? You know, he might have been. I don't know. You know, maybe he did sort of float that. And then when he passed, it was like, you know, will we finally let my husband's dream become reality? Yeah. So Disney died in 66. Right. They were going to lose at 96. It was the life of the person plus 30 years. And it was getting up there. It was getting close to 96. Right? When did Sonny Bono die? Because I forget that I thought that there was an extension and then the Sonny Bono law went through. I thought it was later. But I could be wrong. My timing could be off on that. Any new guitar crushes? I'm digging Craig Cox so much. Yeah, he's really good. For guitar stuff, who have I been listening to lately? I've been really listening to, and I'm in love, and I can't believe they haven't won a Grammy for this. I'm in love with the album Hotel TV by Lawrence, man. That is on heavy rotation. It's like so friggin' good. That whole album is just stellar. Stellar. But who was I listening to recently? Trying to think. I don't know. Trying to think, but nothing's happening. As a wise man once said. Bono died in 98, yeah. So I think there was a reprieve law that went in just before Disney, right, that extended it to like the life of the owner plus like 40 years, which bought him 10 years of lobbying, and then the big one came in like 98. Yeah, they just, I remember that they were on, because I remember reading an article in the paper about how Disney just like strong arm, they were not letting that expire, and it was about to. Was it a nose skiing accident? Those were the 70s. Did anybody see the George Carlin special on HBO this week? Parts 1 and 2 there. It was wonderful. I saw Carlin in 85 at Boston Symphony Hall, and we laughed our friggin' asses off. He was so friggin' good. My God, was he good. And we were laughing like the whole friggin' way home. He was so friggin' funny. But yeah, it was a great breakdown how he really had hit rock bottom. And he has an appearance on Mike Douglas where he's so friggin' jacked on coke. Oh my God! If you know anything of what a dude looks like when he's on coke, you're like, oh my God, dude, you are friggin' cranked right now. Yeah, Buddy Christ. Yeah, I was lucky enough to see George Carlin. That's like the only comedy show. My wife saw David Spade before he was famous. She goes, yeah, we went to some comedy club and it was this dude, David Spade. She's like, he killed. He was so friggin' funny. He was like amazing. She's like, I never laughed so hard. And then he was on SNL. She's like, isn't that the comic we went to go see? Oh, God, that's good coffee. Oh, Jagged is also on HBO. I'll check it out. I do like the HBO documentaries. They're pretty good. You met him in person, Carlin? Yeah, I never saw Kinnison. Like I said, I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure that George Cohen is the only comedy act I ever bought a ticket and actually went to. So what's the verdict? Well, we covered that. We covered that almost an hour ago. But basically, wins on both sides. We'll call it a split decision. So I'm at 74. Wow, he was heydaying then. But then, by the time he gets to about 1980, he's full on, like on the outs, right? By the time you get to like 82, 83, 84, there's a whole new crop of comedians coming out, like Sam Kinison, who are much edgier. And he's like, and so one of the people in there is Bill Burr. And he went to go see him just to goof on him, right? We went to go laugh at him. And he came out and had completely reinvented his act and slayed. And he goes, we were like, wow, okay. Oh, we're, all right, so much for that. Yes, Kinison actually did scare him. You know. And his act did become a little edgier. But he had gone so mainstream because he wanted to be on TV. And he came from an era that if you weren't squeaky clean, you know, and he had to discard that. And once he did that, because he went through the 7 dirty words, but that only gets him so far. And then he's trying to capture and get on more TV in like between, say, 76 and like 86, right? And it's not going so well. The documentary is great. Really sort of shows how he's sort of like, he's really riding high, and then he's sort of down again, and then he's riding high again, and he's sort of down again. He's like, his career really was a roller coaster. Any advantages to reverse headstock? I think it's to keep the strings straight. I think it helps keep the strings from going out of tune, you know. Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield. I could have seen Rodney Dangerfield. He used to tour quite a bit. I could have gone to see Rodney. But never, I wish I did too. But, yeah, God, Rodney and Back to School and, you know, Caddyshack and all those wonderful 80s movies, you know. And the Dice Man, he was hot for a while. He was doing big venues. Gotta hand it to him. The dude, he was friggin' doing Madison Square Garden. Oh, did you see? Yeah, Rickles. Did you see? Was it Rickles, Lisa Lampanelli? Or was it Shatner? when he said he used to. He said when he used to like appear on a game show, the grand prize was fire. Little age joke. Well, Chappelle is brilliant. Do. Yeah, Stephen Wright is in a lot of the documentary. You know, they got Colbert, Stephen Wright. They got a lot of comedians. I want to say it was Judd Apatow might have been the producer, the executive producer, and maybe even the director of it. I think he was the director of the one for Super Dave Osborne, right? Top Jimmy's in another key. In other words, you have to it's like trying to play the Rain song. You can't do it. You're like, this is the world's hardest song until you tune the guitar to the proper tuning, and then you write, it's like 2 notes and 2 notes and 2 notes. You're like, well, yeah, all right. Same with Top Jimmy. Any interest in Rick Beato's signature Gibson? I'll wait for the Epiphone version. Oh, Mitch Hedberg, God, he was funny. I liked Mitch. David Tell's funny, too. Yeah, I used to love Insomniac. I used to watch that a lot. The great one was he was doing a show in, I forget if it was like Toronto or Montreal, and he has a couple of edgy jokes, and he's got nothing. And then he makes a very quick Michael Jackson joke, and the whole place, this is a tell, the whole place bursts into laughter, and he goes, like, of course. Let me test the intelligence of this audience. He throws out a real quick Michael Jackson, and the whole place bursts into laughter. He goes, okay, all right. He walks out of that for the Insomniac. He goes, well, I just bombed. Dice Man. A douche. How do he do that? I think my arm reaches. A douche. Now the best is Gilbert Gottfried doing dice. Hey, Bendy! That's either Faith or New York Groove. Take your choice. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet. That's what I like. Gilbert's dice, you know. The patch, my normal one there. What's it called? The name of the patch is called DOD-YJM 308. DOD-YJM 308. A classic. Yeah, there was someone came up recently. You find out like a whole bunch of tunes were just written, a bunch of Aerosmith tunes, a bunch of pop songs. You know, just all written by studio writers. There's some chick out there. She's got like I can't think of her name, but she's pretty recent. But she's got like a dozen Grammys or so, because she's always got a songwriting credit from like a dozen different artists. Porn Star guys got their start on the Insomniac show, really? So he was doing a Vegas Insomniac, and they're open 24 hours, so he went in. Nah, I never do the 8-finger tapping. I do the one finger. I don't even really do 2. If 1 was good enough for Ed, it's good enough for me. Yeah, sort of like Desmond Child, exactly. Sort of like Desmond Child. He's got just a ton of writing credits. Man, it got humid here. The humidity shot up. It was so dry all week, like nice and crisp. But it's friggin' hot. It's hot here, hot shot. It's gonna dry out again, but not till tomorrow. 3-leg sweep picking? I don't even know what that is. I can't sweep pick anyway. I'm not a sweeper. I'm a lover, not a sweeper. Yeah, my biggest problem with drugs is I can't find them or afford them. Oh, yeah, the pick display. Thanks for bringing that up, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the pick display. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Right there. What you got here is a wall mount. You can see the wooden wall behind it. And, you know what? I couldn't really mount too many lights here. This is basically a mirrored back shot glass case from the shot glass industry, and the stands are from the coin collecting industry. Sadly, there's no dedicated pick display or pick stand. We have to work from other industries. But getting the stands from the coin industry, I want to say a box of 20 was like $8, and this was like $40. And yeah, that's it. Let me see if I have a. Hold on. Yeah, right here. I don't know if it'll play though. It may not. It's gonna play. Yeah. Simple lines weaving. You can see it's so low that the shutter speed is so dim in there. It's causing the lights to flicker. There's no really rhyme or reason, just to try to fit them all in there. I got another like half dozen on the way. I just bought like 6 more. Because it's an addiction. I can't even fit them all in here. Those other ones are to fill out the second case. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, the second case. Yeah, right, yeah, you recognize a few of those. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. And you could see it kind of like right there. Right, you see, I just have, it's those like icicle ones, but I just rolled them all up and just sort of wrapped them around it. And, it did all right. Yeah. It's for now, until I figure out a more, permanent solution. But, hold on, let me see if I can get a shot here. Yeah. Well, you gotta get the idea. Like from an angle, it's hard to get them all in the same shot. Okay, it's kind of tall. Oop, right there. Do the cats attack the pics? The yellow one. There was one that has a certain clink that was making them crazy. That's the one they're going after. There was like a yellow acrylic that was just clinked just right. And they were like... Did I mention I got my SUV going? It's finally working again. Thank God. And here's for me driving it the other day. Yeah, I'm going to say it was a touch hot. Of course, I have the inside temp set to 65. But the outside temp was a crisp 97. Am I using one of those picks right now? No, I'm using one of my Dom hands because I don't want to scratch those picks. Those are too nice. Those picks aren't so much for playing as they are for looking at. It's a collection. Oh, really? You just got your heat pump fixed? Yeah, I know you got to have air conditioning. We got the central air going, but it's getting cool out. It's hard to run it when it gets too cool. Yeah, it's already down to 67. I don't like to run it below 65. They don't even really want me to run it below 70, but tough shit. I need it. How am I liking the roasted maple neck after some time? I love it. It's super soft. Soft as an Android's bottom. Very, very soft and supple, like a neck should be. That should be in advertising. Yeah, you've already seen too many of my pics. You don't play the Epiphone offense. I do, though. You know what? I was just playing this one because I dug out. Should I break out the bow? All right, hold on. Is it bow time? Hold on. Just so you know, I sort of pulled my back, dropping crap off at the dump this morning. So my lower back, you're reaching inside a car to pull something heavy out, and as you're pulling it out. Yoink. Hold on. I need this at what's known in the industry as fluff height. Right. So somewhere between the balls and the knee is where the guitar should rest. But there's a reason for it. First of all, you gotta get up high. So the reason why you need it so long is because it's too high, right? You got to get a really long strap to get the bow at the right distance. You have to have the guitar away from you. And the other thing is, you kind of need a guitar with a raised top, like a violin. There's a reason why the violin top is raised. It's so the bow doesn't friggin' hit it, right? As you're working the bow, right? So they have a big hump in the middle of it. So it doesn't work. It won't work on a Strat because the knob's in the way. So just from knob placement alone, like half my guitars won't even work because you're just going to be bumping right? There's no knob in the way on this, right? The first knob, the highest knob is behind the bridge, right? See that? So when it comes to like using a bow, between the raised, it wouldn't even work on an SG the same, even though the knobs are behind. It's still not going to work the same because it's not carved. It doesn't have that hump in the center that raises the bridge up off the face, Hold on, I gotta turn the volume up. And then single notes tend to sound the best except for open strings. the other thing is, oh, I can't hit that. My God, my back is killing me. You need rosin. If you don't rosin the bow, the bow, it's not sticky enough. You can almost hear it, and I can see it. So this guitar is sort of dedicated for this, because then you get rosin all over the strings, and trust me, they grip the pick, you know. So this has sort of like been my dedicated. The hardest part is the high stuff, which you sort of have to do between the bridge pickup, right? You're doing it like sort of like right here. Again, it's so hard to get the high string isolated by itself. I probably have to take the pick guard off if I want to get right. And then another thing that Paige would do is he would just crank up the delay, right? Because when you have the delay cranked, let me see, where's my delay on this thing? It's much harder to get the higher strings than it is to get the lower strings. Hold on. Check, check. There we go. What up at the puppy? Yeah, I was looking at the EBO, but I think I like the Sustainiac pickup better. Yeah, you could get a smaller bow. I don't know what that bow is supposed to be for. I want to say it might be a viola. I'm sure I bought it solely by price, right? It was like $29 or something like that. I think you do have to be standing to play with the bow. Yeah, certainly the higher ones would be a little easier. Yeah, the E-bow can make different sounds than because of the ability to move the magnetic field around. You can actually even sort of get a little bit of an attack by hitting it. I've seen Steve Marchena do that, where you just move it into place very quickly, and he gets almost like a little bit of a strike to it. It's kind of weird. Yeah, sounds like a pizzicato. Yeah. Have you got a tour of the room? I'm working on one right now. In fact, in conjunction with DistroKid, I'm hoping to have a studio tour out soon. I had the stairs starting to break, so I had to fix those. That was a while ago, though. And then I did all this work over here, and don't forget the pick display. Very, very integral part. But soon, what happens is, and what's happened to me in the last couple of weeks is, I have a little window where the weather's nice, and then it's going to turn ridiculously hot and like insufferable outside, and I'm not going to want to do anything outside. So now is the time to get a whole bunch of outdoor projects done. And I've been friggin' cranking through them, man. I have got a lot done. And I've had a lot of IT work in the last few weeks. And I've been cranking through that. So I just did a Ubiquiti Wi-Fi install yesterday. Came out great. I was pretty happy with the results. Hey, what's up, Aljon? You just missed it. We had the LP custom down. I had the bow out. Doing a little bow action. And sometimes, in just the right. Any progress on taking out the fish tank? No, not really. We've talked to the fish company, and they said they'll try and find somebody, but those things they're hard to sell. Invite Steve Marchena again. He hasn't been doing a lot of in-person. He's been playing it safe because he lived with his mom. She was like 94 or 95, 308 is, I have no idea what you mean. Is it an impulse response? No. So that's not how any of this works. You would still need a, that's just one part of it. It's a rig. It's a rig like if you heard someone playing through a Kemper, there's no way they could make an impulse response that would sound like what you're playing. The impulse response is only the speaker cab. No, step 1, buy the software. Step 2, buy the rig. Step 3, find the patch. Step 4, modify the patch so the way I have it modified. And then you'll be good to go. "30-second music theory lesson." Now, what could we do this week? If we get down and eat some SRV to lift you up. I don't know about SRV, but sure, you know, music definitely helps, gives you inspiration, you know. You'd have to just make sure you're listening to the right songs, or it could just go horribly wrong. The set list starts out with "Seasons in the Sun." All right, goes into "We'll Meet Again." All right, "When September Ends." Not really cheering me up. I feel like I left the delay too high. Hold on. Let me go back to where is my delay. That sounds right. That sounds right. I know it's subtle, but trust me, it's there. I play any gigs nowadays? Not really. Can you get that 308 as an impulse response? Sure. Send me a self-addressed stamp envelope. I'll get that right out. You up, see you later? Maybe. He's talking about impulse responses. Yeah, I'll mail you one. I mean, the 308 is good, but I think we all know the 309 is better. How much better? Well, it would be one better now, wouldn't it? I am cutting back on the coffee. I have been cutting back on the coffee. I was just drinking way too much coffee. And I tell you, I've been sleeping better because of it. I think it was hurting my sleep, and just overall, it was just not good. Probably putting way too much, you know, pressure on my kidneys and everything. It's too much. I was drinking like 5 to 6 cups this size a day. Like 6 cups this size a day was not uncommon. And I've cut that in half. Sometimes the most I have now is 3. And sometimes only 2. And, it has made a difference, and especially cutting it off. I would drink coffee until 1 o'clock in the morning, But now I stop at 8 p.m., and it's made a difference, without a doubt. 308. No, we're not talking rifles. We're talking jeans, bro. It's the 308 zip-ups, right? I know, Tyler back in rehab. Dude, it's like, grow up. How old are you now? I'm not milk and sugar. I do Splenda and half and half. I do like 1 Splenda and it's a little half and half. And that's all, Yeah, so Levi's 308. Yeah, Steven Tyler, right? Back in rehab, right? He had a relapse recently. It's like, dude, what are you in, like, your 70s? Actually, after 8 o'clock, I don't really drink anything other than water. I pretty much stop eating and anything after 8 p.m., period. And that's why I had to stop coffee, because coffee was something. And I've been doing better because of it, Been losing weight and feeling better and a little more energy, and it's good. Just trying to cut down. Really, and it's not so much during the day. It's the night stuff. It's the night stuff that I think is getting me. So. Yeah, 501 in the neck, 502 in the bridge. Of course, we got the Formula 308. WD 308. I do like the sound of this guitar, though. It's a good one. Let's go to Cam. That's the old ash top. Looking good with the sort of like the bleached driftwood. I think they call that sanded faded blue. It's light too. I like the weight of this so much better than the black one. Black one was a little heavy. WD 41. That's one better now, isn't it? Have a good one, Music Therapy, man. Understood. What's the best Epiphone to get right now, in my opinion? Yes, that one. I don't know. I like the LP Custom. That's a really good one. I think that new Prophecy-looking one, that's the Jerry Cantrell one, the white one there. I think that looks quite sporting. I think he's got Fishman's in it. And what else? I will say that I was in Guitar Center, and they had an Epiphone SG Custom in ebony on the wall that I thought looked friggin' dynamite. I thought that looked like really good looking guitar. So I'm just saying, I didn't take it down, I didn't play it, but it stood out on the wall as a particularly good looking instrument. Felt a little out of place around the other guitars around it. Did not look quite as, high end and as refined, right? Because they're sort of in by price area, right? They're sorted in Guitar Center. So I wasn't seeing a lot in that general vicinity that looked really any better at all than that SG. That thing was kind of kicking ass. I thought it looked real good. Yeah, he does have Fistman's on the Prophecy, right? Yeah, I think so, yeah. I get an EVH this weekend, Frankie 5150, and the regular stripe versions. Well, if to me, the best of all those you mentioned there, the 5150, the Stripe series, and the Frankie is actually feels a little bit more worn in, and I felt like the pickup was just a touch warmer, because I swear to God, it's just a hair more forward than the other ones. They're supposed to be the same pickup, but it did sound, because I had two of the Stripe series and the Frankie here, and you could hear it. You could hear that the Stripe series was just I'm not talking like this, these were seismic differences, but when you play through the identical patch, right? It's like that's a way to really compare guitars, because that patch, no matter how hot or cold the tubes are, or how your electricity is doing, or anything like that, the patch is the patch is the patch. So, it's pretty consistent. I thought the Frankie sounded best. I thought the Frankie played the best in terms of the neck feel. Because it really felt like sort of worn in with the rounded edges and everything. But I'd try a few out. If your heart's set on an EVH. You could try some Kramers too, but, it's not the same instrument. If you really want the EVH, of the ones you mentioned, the 5150 and the Stripe series and the Frankie, I'm going Frankie. Making a hot sauce in your house? That's dangerous. You got to do that out on the. You got to do that out in the grill. You got to do that outside, in a side burner or something. Yeah, You're the one who got me into plugins, I feel like. You're the only one using them now. Everyone does. Well, I use them because they're consistent. And granted, they've gotten much better, in the last few years. Every year they come out, they seem to get a little bit better and a little bit better. And it's gradual, so it's not a huge change. But when you start to go back and listen to older videos, you're like, wow, that really kind of has come a long way. All right, hold on here. We had a whiner. I'll take a lot of things, but repeated whining isn't one of them. So I just had to, turn off the whiner line. I can tolerate a lot of things, but whiners isn't one of them. As my mom would say, boo friggin' who. And trust me, you were almost certainly crying when she was saying that. And it wasn't friggin'. Epiphone 59 Les Paul Standard has me too. Yeah, you know, that is a good one, the 59 Epi. That is a good one. Looks good. No, I am very well known as extremely unsympathetic. Oh, well, it happens. It happens. $8.44. Wow, the night's going by quickly. Yeah, the Epiphone, yeah, it comes, yeah, that they do something a little nice on that 59, right? With the burst buckers and the nice hard shell case, yeah. Looks like Tone King just got a Slash one, I think. He got that, which it seems very similar to the 59. Man, it's so, I'm coughing here like crazy. Yeah, the Slash Epi. Yeah, looks good. I gotta get some more Epis here. And more Kramers. More of everything. Now, I have an Electro Omega. I've never tried the no-carb flavor syrups for coffee. My wife gets the Starbucks, like, I think it's like creamer, like caramel creamer. It was too sweet. I didn't. It was too much. I was like, ugh, no, just a Splenda, and 30% half and half, and I'm good. That's all I need. Maybe not that much. $9.49 for an Epiphone seems high price. I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Like, so, and it's just like, because I think we've been lulled into like values without remembering what things used to cost. Let me just go to my, yeah. So let's just say you, you walked into a store in 1988, right? And I just want to make sure I get the number right here. Where was it? You just had it. I just saw it. $9.49. Sorry. And if I put in $9.49, $9.49, and in the year, let's say 1988. That's the equivalent of $388 in 1988. That's about right. That's about what we would be paying for like a copy single cut. $388. That's about right. Let's put that to say 1991. Be about $450. Right? So a little less, but again, if you round up, about $450. So, that's about right. For that period of time. So I don't think 949. If you really look at inflation calculators, it doesn't seem like it's really that crazy. That's like when I look at these guitars for $199. It's like the equivalent of like $86, and the quality is through the roof compared to what you got back then. Just because they didn't have the CNC machines like they do now, right? It was a lot more chance going on back then. A lot of the chance has been taken out because of the sheer accuracy of the cutters. Stop using logic. I know. So you just, when you keep it in perspective, you realize that we've kind of been in a golden age for a little while, where prices were probably a little artificially down. And again, you can just thank efficiencies in manufacturing. And again, you also have to remember that the guitar has to be made, and I've been told this several times from several people, that when you're in the manufacturing business, guitars, amps, whatever you want to call it, insert item here, you have to be at about 25% of retail for manufacturing costs. So $1,000 guitar has to be made for about $250, right? Because then you're going to sell it, and by the time you get it out, for about $500, and then they're going to turn around and sell it for like $8.99 or whatever they're going to try and get, right? So there's like they have to, the amount of margin they have to build in is remarkably high, or else they really don't make enough money. In the 90s, you could buy an American Strat for $700. Well, we were a dealer. And I don't think so. I remember when we got the American Standard in 1987. It started out with the reissues in '86, and those were like, $8.99 or so. They were up there. But I want to say the American Standard, I want to say we sold those for $6.99. I probably had a little bit higher list. I think we sold them around $6.99, $7.50, but they quickly went up. I remember them just going up and up. And then we had like the Plus. Those were around $1,000, maybe $1,100. Then we had the Ultras. Those were like $13.99, $12.99, $13.99, somewhere around there. You had the ebony fretboard, which was extremely rare for Fender at the time. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times I see when you look at like Fender and Gibson and stuff like that, I think a lot of the stuff they've done in the last 10 years has been really good. Really good. You start to look at some of the older stuff, and so, again, it really just depends. Fender, sometimes they went through periods where the neck was a little chunkier. I didn't really like it, but that was the spec at the time. And then they retool, and all of a sudden everything's just a tiny bit thin. And you're like, oh, I think I like this neck profile better. They're kind of all over the place, because I had a Deluxe from like 2002. It absolutely had a thicker neck than like my American Standard from like 2014, something like that, 2013, right? Big difference in the neck shape. A little chunkier on that older one. And the same with the headstock, right? The Fender, for like some years, the headstock's a little pregnant, right? The line isn't quite straight. It's a little bowed, a little bit of the has a little baby bump on that headstock. So again, a little different, kind of the same, but not really. Yeah, I remember getting that, seeing that when they had a glut of Mexi Strats on Guitar Center. They had a whole bunch in that, what is it, sage green, right? They had a ton of them, and maybe these were just leftover stock that they were blowing out. But they were down to $2.99, and they even had a couple on there for $1.99. I said, you should, but they were sold. I was like, you should just buy one of these. But I couldn't. It was already sold. But those days are over. I don't think you're going to see that anytime soon. I will say this, on Guitar Center, used stock is back up to almost where they were pre-pandemic. They broke almost to 49,000 items. Pre-pandemic, it was pretty much consistently about 50,000 was the target. So, I mean, they're practically there. Yeah, the MIJ 308 Impulse is way better than the Mexican 308 Impulse. Everybody knows that. So hopefully I'll be getting some videos out this week because the weather's turning crappier and I'm forced back indoors again. As I escape the friggin' oh, there goes the condenser draining. As you hear is the air got soupy, very, very soupy. I'm not a fan. Yeah, no, it's gonna get hot. It's getting there. You know, we hit 97 the other day, but then we cooled off again. And then we're back hot again. Not so much hot, but just wet and humid, just gross. You know, we have a dew point in the mid 60s, which isn't as bad. It can get in the mid 70s around here, which is just absolutely disgusting. But for the most part, even the mid 60s is pretty. I don't even like the mid 50s. I like, below 50, a good dew point of 45 and below. Nice and crisp, but not around here. I'd have to move west to get that kind of dry, the kind of arid air. It is friggin' humid here. We needed the rain, though. I know, we got some rain here, too. Man, we needed it. We have been in a friggin' drought. My lawn is looking so brown. What the hell? It's like, I had it looking so good, but we cannot get friggin' rain. And we finally got some last night. Finally. It's friggin'. I don't like it. I don't like the humidity. I crawl in a hole until friggin' October. I hate it. I hate it. Like Elaine. I hate it. Yeah, we didn't get too crazy. We did have maybe about 30 minutes of pretty heavy rain, but I've seen a lot worse, trust me. A lot worse. But no, it wasn't we got rain. Don't get me wrong. We had another blast like last night. And we had one this afternoon, but not for very long, and not crazy. Not like whiteout. God, we had it one year, the one that flooded everything around here. That was like 10 inches of rain, or 7 inches of rain in 40 minutes. That caused a lot of damage. I don't want Southwest Florida. That sounds gross. Yeah, it's like 308 degrees here. Exactly. How much humidity? 308%. exactly. How much does THU cost? Oh, about $308. Yeah, humidity keeps us honestly miserable. I don't like it. I'm running multiple dehumidifiers plus central air. Oh, I'm fully in the pocket of big air conditioning. I, for one, accept our new refrigeration overlords. Yeah, I think we hit like 96% humidity this morning, right? It's like the temperature's like 63 and the dew point's like 62.5. Really, like you say, who won the lawsuit? Well, there was wins on both sides. Dean was found to have infringed, but Gibson was found to have no damages. Dean was found to have counterfeited, but they were awarded Gibson the statutory minimum of $1,000 per for a total of $4,000, which is not a lot of money in litigation terms. But the big win for Gibson was that the trademark was upheld as non-generic, or wasn't found to be generic, and it wasn't canceled. That is a huge win for Gibson. And Fender's on probation. Exactly. Special secret probation, right? Oh, I'm already looking forward to the first frost. Tell me when I can go get my pumpkin spice latte. Whenever I see fruit, you know what I'm saying, like fruit crushers from Dunks, I know I'm in the wrong season. Come on down for the latest fruit blasters. I'm like, no. Tell me when the pumpkin spice latte is ready. Cutie, what are you doing? Boopa. Little boop doop. Little boots. She got her way boots on. All right, dudes. Yeah, I love winter, exactly. No yard work, nice and dry. Just sit at home and watch the snowflakes fall. It's awesome. All right, now, you rock. I probably will have a video out this week, I'm hoping. If not, then certainly the week after, because it's getting hot out there. And I don't know that there's much. Yeah, that's Cutie. I don't know that there's a lot more I can do outside, so that'll drive me inside. Yes, you know. Oh, thanks, Speaker. Yeah, definitely talk soon. Get together for lunch or something like that. You know. So, all right, dudes. No, you rock. Thanks to everybody for hanging out. And super extra thanks to my mod squad. # mod squad. And I'll see you guys in a week. And there you go. And I'll see you in a week. And I'll let my family out of lockdown from upstairs. And there you have it. All right, dudes. No, you rock. I'll see you in a week. Until then, rock on.